Senator Durbin, the floor is yours.
Senator Padilla, thank you for holding this important hearing on an issue of importance to our nation and important to me personally. I didn't know that this would be a major endeavor in my Senate career, but it has become one. It was 21 years ago in this room that I first introduced the DREAM Act, bipartisan legislation to give undocumented immigrants who grew up in this country a chance to become citizens. 21 years. The obvious answer is, Durbin, you're supposed to be a hotshot legislator. What's going on? When are you going to pass this bill? Well, we called it on the floor 5 times. We had a majority vote every single time, but we couldn't break the filibuster, 60-vote requirement. So we keep trying, and I'm going to continue to. 11 years ago, I chaired the first ever Senate hearing on the DREAM Act in this room. We've never been able to get it to the president's desk, but we're not giving up. Today, as you've heard, is the 10th anniversary of President Obama's announcement of DACA. He announced the DACA program after I sent a letter first with Senator Lugar, a year later with 21 other senators urging him to do that. It's been a dramatic change in the lives of hundreds of thousands of young people across America, and you'll hear from some of them today. But the question now, obviously, is what are we going to do to fix the problem? The 4 of us, as you see up here, Senator Tillis, Senator Cornyn, Senator Padilla, and I have met repeatedly to try to work out what Senator Cornyn just described. Is there some way to bring order to the southern border? We are being overwhelmed by the number of people who are showing up. Many of them are asking for asylum status, and there's a process you go through, which includes a hearing and may even include an immigration court. And it takes a period of time, and what to do with someone who's in the middle of that process while they're waiting for their day in court. That's one of the elements we have to deal with. I think the basics we all kind of agree on, at least I do, think it's pretty obvious. Number one is we need an orderly process at the border. It can't just be overwhelm us and then write the rules from that point forward. Secondly, we should never allow any dangerous person in this country who wants in this country or anyone to stay in this country who's a danger to us. Security of America is number one priority. And number 3 is we cannot accept everyone who wants to come to America today. There has to be a process where we bring them in. There are 2 or 3 ways to do it, and some of them are legal, some are not. The legal process, asylum I mentioned earlier, and another one is work visas. Well, are we at a point in American history where we need workers? We hear it every day. By the millions, people are asking for more workers. So under the Trump administration, we usually have 1 million legal immigrants a year. That figure was cut down to 250,000. So at the end of the 4 years of President Trump, we were net lost 3 million immigrants to this country. That's part of the workforce that's not there. And we hear it from every business we talk to, the restaurants, the hotels, the people who own the orchards and the fields where the crops are grown. They desperately need workers. We ought to have a process, and I think we can agree on it, for people to come and work legally in this country with certain restrictions on how long they can stay and what their situation is. But if that process were in place, I think we might have fewer showing up in mob scenes at the border. I hope we can reach that point. I want to salute the chairman of the subcommittee for bringing this issue before us. And here's what I'd like to say in closing. It was 2 months or so ago that we met, 3 months maybe, in the same committee and talked about the prospect of sitting down and trying to reach a point where we could bring all these bills to the floor. We're going to be returning around July the 11th from our 4th of July break. If Senators Tillis and Cornyn are finished with their current project by then, I hope they are, I hope we can make immigration their next project. We need the kind of bipartisanship we're seeing on the issue of gun safety when it comes to the issue of immigration. We're lucky to have a number of senators on this subcommittee who have proven that they are willing to step up and speak up for solving problems. Let's solve immigration next. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.